and our elected officials, and anyone else who'd like to join us up here. Thank you. Okay. Just Porter. Good morning, good morning. Come on over, everyone. Okay. How are you? I was gonna good morning. I just want to get a plan. I like to get a verbal agreement from the electeds as to who's okay not speaking, who's okay speaking for them.
Okay. So we have, this is who we have speaking.
Yeah, but I know, for example, Senator-elect Miranda wants to say a few words really badly, and so I got to figure out from the city council if they want to say something or.
Do you want them to?
Just
we have
gonna
speak.
Yep.
The rest of the students are going to stand.
And most of the young people are from the Burke?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they stay outside. Do you want to meet Greg? He's the. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna stick my stuff. Hopefully, it won't blow away.
Yeah, how are you?
Okay, so yeah, we're gonna put in all the electeds here, and everyone will just go short. Yep. Okay.
I was going to say, I might need your help with that because I can't understand the handwriting. Okay, great. Good morning, everyone. Buenos dias. My name is Marta Rivera. I'm the Commissioner of the Boston Centers for Youth and Families, BCYF. Thank you so much for being here with us this morning. And we are here to share some very exciting news that is long time coming. And it is so appropriate that at the heels of coming upon the end of Hispanic Heritage Month, I just want to exclaim the famous motto of the United Farm Workers motto, "Sí se puede." That's all I want to say, "Sí se puede." After so, again, long-awaited time, and those of you that have been doing this work, again, you all know what I mean. So I don't want to steal the mayor's thunder. And again, it is great that we are just outside the one of our community centers, the Senior Center, the Grove Hall Senior Center. Our Senior Center Director, Adi Pomales, is here along with some of our seniors. Raise your hand. One of our very popular and highly utilized centers, active seniors. So without further ado, I am going to turn it over to our Mayor, Michelle Wu. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much to Commissioner Rivera and our Chief of Human Services, Jose Masso, for their leadership in stewarding us to this point of being ready to go with all the pieces lined up. But we know that a whole lot of people have been fighting for this, praying for this, working for this for a very, very long time. So I want to thank all the community members, most of all, for your leadership in getting us to this point. We are going to hear from a couple speakers. So after me, you'll hear from our Chief of Human Services, Jose Masso, and then our Councillor Brian Worrell, who's a big champion of this project and initiative, Mike Kozu, co-director of Project Right, Sister Virginia, our fellow elected officials. We have great leaders and friends from the council and the State House here. So City Councilor Rutsu Luijen, City Councilor Tanya Fernandes Anderson, City Councilor Michael Flaherty, State Senator, I almost said elect Senator nominee and current State Rep Liz Miranda. So we'll ask everyone to share a few words if you'd like. And most importantly, we will close out with Justice Porter, on our student representative on behalf of the many Jeremiah Burke High School students who are here as well. So, as we all know, there is currently no standalone community center in all of Dorchester. And of the 5 BCYF, Boston Center for Youth and Families, centers that Dorchester has, all of them are in school buildings, like the one connected to the Burke right across the street. And that has been a blessing in many ways, because we know these communities' needs are deeply intertwined, and we want every access point to have all the services that our families and young people need. But the reality has also been that community events and programming have been limited by the school schedule in those instances too. Schools are hubs for joy, growth, and learning, and they should complement the vibrancy of our communities and not have to feel like we're competing and pitting different communities against each other for dedicated activity space. That is why, over the past year, this team has reached out to residents all over Dorchester at the pushing of and in partnership with our city councilors, state reps, and senators and community leaders. We have had several community meetings and a community-wide survey. And we heard overwhelmingly the need for a community center right here in Grove Hall. And I am talking literally right here on this empty lot that we are standing on. That will soon be Dorchester's first ever standalone community center. We know that our communities are stronger when everyone has the opportunity to come together, to learn, to play, to collaborate, to build connections across every generation. And that's especially true here in Grove Hall and in Dorchester and the city of Boston more broadly, where we see one of our environmental justice communities sees so much that we are organizing and rallying to bring about changes for. Okay, I'm going to speed up now that the rain's coming down. Okay, in neighborhoods like this one, it is especially important that our residents have safe, comfortable, resilient, inspiring spaces without having to expose everyone to the health risks of heat and the elements, or rain. So I'm grateful to all of our city departments, BCYF, public facilities, and especially community members for getting us to this point. Okay, un poco en español. Estoy feliz de estar aquí con todos. Thank you. Con todos los miembros de la comunidad, y me emociona ver a tanta gente de la comunidad. De los 5 centros BCYF que tiene Dorchester, todos están en edificios escolares. Por eso, a lo largo del año pasado, nos pusimos en contacto con los residentes de todo Dorchester. Escuchamos de manera contundente la necesidad de un centro comunitario aquí en Grove Hall. Entonces, hoy me alegra anunciar que este terreno vacío en el que nos encontramos se convertirá pronto en ese espacio, el primer centro comunitario de la historia de Dorchester. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. I'm going to pass it over to Chief Masso.
Thank you so much, Mayor. It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for your leadership and support on making today possible. As the Mayor mentioned, my name is Jose Masso. I am the Chief of Human Services for the City of Boston. I'm going to age myself by saying this, but it is humbling to be back here at the site of the former bubble. Here we go. And to be in the position that I'm in. I don't take my role lightly, and I recognize that the new community center we're announcing today takes on a new feeling of urgency given the events that have taken place. It's clear that our young people need more opportunities for positive engagement, and I believe that community centers, where I spend much of my youth, can be places where positive engagement and mentorship can take place. It is my hope that this investment that the city is making in Grove Hall will yield a state-of-the-art, standalone community center that this neighborhood has long deserved. It will be a thriving hub of activities for residents of all ages, from our youngest residents to our oldest, and it will offer opportunities to gather, connect, and be expressive. In addition to this community center, the mayor also released an application for the 2023 Youth Development Fund grant yesterday, which provides $1.5 million to nonprofit organizations in Boston that offer youth development activities to youth ages 10 to 25. I'd like to, you can clap on that. You can clap on that for sure. So I'd like to conclude by thanking Commissioner Rivera and her whole team at BCYF, along with Chief Irish and the team at PFD for their leadership in getting us to this point where we are today. I'm looking forward to additional community input to get us to a place where everyone has an opportunity to weigh in on the design of this new community center. Thank you all for being here today.
Thank you, Chief. And before I introduce our next speaker, I want to again reiterate a gratitude to Chief Irish, the Public Facilities Department team, the Director, Carrie Griffin, Alistair, the Project Manager, and our consulting team, Util. We have Brett here and Alessandro. They were amazing leading that process. We also had a community advisory committee that participated and guided us and provided input and the voice of the community in addition to other members in the community, and you are probably here today. So we are so grateful for your input, your insight, and attendance in the meetings. And as Chief said, we're going to continue to reach out to you and want your input in this process as we design the facility. So next we're going to hear from Councilor Worrell.
Can I just do a quick community pulse check? Because we could relocate across the street inside if you all want. Do you want to do that and take a few minutes, or do you want to just power through? Power through? Okay. All right. Councilor Worrell.
Power through. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Brian Worrell, the District 4 Boston City Councilor, and I get the opportunity to represent the greatest district in the city of Boston and the greatest neighborhood in Dorchester in District 4. Through the advocacy of our Grove Hall residents today, we see how local government works for our community. My grandmother would say, an idle mind is a devil's playground. And today we are putting forward a plan to address that idle mind with more programming, education, resources, and dedicated community spaces, and enhancing the quality of life in our neighborhoods. I am excited to stand here today in Grove Hall with Mayor Wu, Chief Irish, Commissioner Rivera, Chief Mazu, Mike Kozu. Let's give it up to Mike Kozu, Project Right, and the many community residents, members whose vision for this vacant lot to have a community center come to fruition. I remember campaigning in Grove Hall and constantly being asked, are you bringing a community center to this lot? I also remember the young people on this lot who had me sign a petition committing to bringing a community center here. This is also an opportunity for us to involve our young people in designing the community center that will be built for them. Days like today, where we bring investments into our communities, is why I ran for office. I'm just a kid from Dorchester who was impacted by the transformational community work that goes on in community centers. Your advocacy in this community center will have a tremendous impact on the lives of countless young people in our neighborhood. So thank you for all your work.
Thank you, Counselor. And so, speaking of resilience, persistence, and the epitome of Si Se Puede, at this time, I'd like to ask Mike Kozu to come up to the podium.
What an important day this is. Mayor, we thank you and your team for making this happen. We thank our elected officials, our public and Grove Hall partners, our schools, and most importantly, our students who are behind here. and our residents who spent so much time organizing for Grove Hall Community Center right here at this spot. Thank you to the Project Right family, because this is not just me, it's the Project Right family. Our board, our staff, our volunteers, our residents, our young people, all of you who attended all these meetings that were in person, to all of you who made the successful transition to virtual meetings that I know I drove you crazy, all the emails, all that, every day, every night. But however, at the same time, while we're celebrating, I also view this day as with mixed emotions. The recent violence reminds us what we must take on. For our students who are here, we need you to understand the history of this organizing campaign, that so many people participated in this process, and that they will have your back as you continue on your journey. The obstacles that we had to surmount, the naysayers, and I know the naysayers who said it could not be done, the racism that delayed this process for decades until this announcement today. In 1982, I was able to work with L. Holland, the Burke headmaster at that time, Evelyn Cartwright, school parent council, Jean McGuire, who was going to be here. You know, we were praying for her swift recovery. We worked on restoring resources to the Burke, which is then being underfunded. The need for a full-size Grove Hall Youth Center became clear in those discussions. Despite Grove Hall being densely populated, the city just had a storefront space for youth programming, which is now part of the Grove Hall Mecca Mall with Stop and Shop, thanks to Sister Virginia and the late Walter Little. Then we managed to get the bubble right here. And I think the city was amazed with all the stories and all the memories that got brought out through the community process about how successful a tent, a bubble with just this basketball court helped change the lives of so many young people who are now adults. Just imagine what a full-size community center facility can do for our whole community as a whole. We need to remember, how has Grove Hall been treated? The Burke lost accreditation in 1994, and the school department at that time allocated $4 million for its minimal renovation, while at the same time allocating $25 million apiece for Latin Academy, East Boston, and High Park High School. You do the math, and I know the students understand it better, that's not fair. Not fair. It took 12 years of organizing by students, parents, many residents, and partners to work with late Mayor Menino that resulted in the Burke renovation that you see today with the Senior Center and the Grove Hall Library branch. So many people were involved in that design and planning process. When so many of us, including the late Lila Frederick from Devon Street, the late Lulu Robinson and John Bobo who lived on Intervale Street, the late Dan Richardson who lived on Humboldt Street, the late Mary Knight of Faith Street who worked with Mayor Menino about a community center, he also said we need a middle school. That whole process took over 12 years, but now we have the Lila Frederick Pilot Middle School. The push for a youth and community center was slowed down, but many of you continued and working with us to organize for this community center that's going to be right here today. We told a planner who tried to tell us that since the Burke received $49 million for its renovation in 2009, we would have to wait for a youth center. We said no, that the Burke renovation was 15 years too late, what exists today maintains racial disparities, and that Grove Hall was too densely populated with young families that deserve youth and intergenerational programming that other Boston neighbors had had for decades. Today, Mayor Wu and her team is taking a major step in changing how racism allocated resources in Boston, which denied opportunities in the past for Grove Hall families. We need all of you to continue participating in the planning and design in the Grove Hall Community Center. As the late Mrs. Mary Gray of Devon Street said, she had a degree in community design. We want all of you to join in this process. We need to learn from the successes and the challenges in the past. I still do not understand why we have the heating and ventilation issues of the Burke Gym and the Frederick Gym, and we need to see what we can do about this. Thank you all for participating in this journey. We have more to do. Let's get started. We have a community meeting tonight to talk about the violence in our community and how we can take advantage of this opportunity. But again, many of you joined into this process and deserve the credit for what took place today. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to keep us moving right along. Sister Virginia, please.
Good morning and welcome. And thank you to our mayor and our elected officials for this community center that's been long overdue. The Grove Hall residents and organizations like Project Right, Grove Hall NDC, the Freedom House, Grove Hall Main Streets, and former local politicians have advocated for an area where our youth can have activities safely. This can and must be the place. The city of Boston put, well, I want to talk about the community center that was supposed to be, this was supposed to be what that was, but, you know, it's an example of how our community always gets shortchanged. Before I say anything else, everyone knows that I'm a straight talker and a straight shooter. We, the city of Boston, led by our mayor, the Boston Police Department, and the residents must charge ourselves with murder. Murder. Why? Because we're not doing enough. This community does not feel safe except if there are organizations like the Torchlight Group, the 10,000 Fearless Men, that are going in our community talking to our youth and the recovery community, all under the leadership of Muhammad's Mosque number 11. Religious organizations, please let us get our congregations involved. How could Jean McGuire, a 91-year-old civil rights icon, a freedom fighter, and in 1981 the first black member of our Boston School Committee and co-founder of the METCO program, a program that focused on 100% of our youth and our children around education, providing a better education for our black children. Why? Because at that time, the city of Boston was not doing its job, okay? We have had a 14-year-old shot, 17-year-old stabbed, and our icon, Jean McGuire, stabbed several times, okay? Horrific, horrific. To the residents, there's no such thing as snitching. If you see something, say something. We are either part of what? The solution, or we're part of the problem. You cannot have it both ways. That's why we must charge ourselves with murder if we continue to do nothing. $200 million for a downtown park. When you are placing all of the mass cast people throughout our community, that has got to stop. They're all over there by the Shattuck on Walnut Avenue. I believe it might have been one of those persons who had the audacity, the nerve, the gall to stab multiple times Jean McGuire. Take the $2 million for the Commons and rebuild Long Island Bridge for the homeless, for the sick drug users, the mentally challenged folks. There's plenty of room on that island. Get them out of our community. I was born and raised here. I graduated from that school. We built them all. We have our office right here. We have, all of us, have worked hard to make this community a better community. This center will do it. I thank you, Mayor Wu, for doing what you're doing. But you know, there's a lot more that has to be done. Let's go back to true community policing. Get the cops out of the cars. I have nothing against police officers. Okay, my son quit the force. I have another son who's retiring in 2 weeks, so I love police officers that are doing their job correctly. Community policing means police officers from the community, that live in the community, that have empathy for the community, that look like the community. So let's go back to Commissioner Cox, community policing. Let's do our jobs. There's enough money to hire hundreds of officers, the ones that have been who have retired and quit, to move on to other jobs like the fire department, ironically. Increase the enrollment into the police academy. being intentional towards people of color, black, browns, Asians. There's plenty of money earmarked for public safety and mental health. Mayor Wu, let's make it work. Yes, yes, yes. Housing is important, is an important issue, but we can chew gum and walk at the same time. Yes, we can. Let's sit down. Let's sit down and figure this out. I want to say before I say anything else, let's name this center after our freedom fighter, Gene McGuire. Let's name this center. Let's name this center. While we live, let's show honor, respect to our freedom fighters. With that, I want to say that we can, we should, and we must figure this out. My name is Sister Virginia from the Grove Hall, NDC.
Thank you, Sister, for your candid and impassioned words. I'm going to respectfully ask our electeds to come be brief, please. Thank you. Thank you, and I'm going to ask Councilor Flaherty, at-large Councilor Flaherty, to come up.
Thank you, Marta. I'll be very brief with the weather. This process started when I was a young man with Lisa Holmes bringing me up here when I was working in the Safe Neighborhood Initiative, meeting Sister Virginia and Michael Kozu and Minister Dawn. So this is a great day for Grove Hall. Congratulations. Thank you to the mayor for putting it into the end zone. And you guys are going to enjoy the bells and whistles of a community center that is long overdue. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you. Councilor G.
Hello, everyone. Ruthie Louisiane, at-large city councilor. Really happy to be here. Really thankful. This is really a day for all the advocates that we've heard from Mike, Sister Virginia, for everyone who really fought so hard for this. I grew up in Mattapan and in Hyde Park, and my community centers were really important. I also grew up going to church here, First Haitian Baptist Church, so Grove Hall feels like a second home to me. And so I'm very excited that our young people will get finally a standalone community center, and we depend on you to tell us what that community center should look like, what that youth center should look like. And so I just want to just be a reminder that I want everyone to look around and realize that this is power, not elected officials, not us. The power is in community. And the power is in community making sure that you hold us to task and that you point out the systemic racism that Sister Virginia was talking about, and that as we build towards a better, more inclusive Boston, that we continue to lead by following all of you here in community. So thank you. Happy to be here. And finally, when we fight, we win. Thank you.
Councilor Fernandez-Anderson.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. In this moment, first I just want to say, I don't want to age Mike, but I'm 43 years old, and I met Mike when I was 15. So I am a product of Project Right and Roxbury Multi-Service Center. I literally worked next door in the same hallway as Mike Kozu while he mentored me and did programs with him. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of your work and advocacy. Today, I just wanted to, in this moment, I just wanted to speak with the young people. For all of the students, mon papa decía, para todos los latinos que están aquí, turco-verdianos que estão ali, hora que nos junta na comunidade, nós tudo tá ganha. Kasi this Burke High School has been standing here, and to all of the teachers and facility staff who fight every single day, who struggle with the students, you know how it is with all of the issues every single day that you have to not put up with, but you nurture and love our children, and we thank you for that. I thank all of the students who show up, who are here today, who fight, who struggle, even when you don't want to, even when you have to go home without resources, and you have to go home to situations that all of us here understand that are unbearable. We thank you for continuing to fight and your courage. And we thank all of the black and brown girls and boys at home who don't want to go to school. We continue to fight for you. We have faith for you. We love you. Mayor Wu, I thank you for rising up to the occasion and for listening. I thank your team. I thank Councilor Worrell as a chair of Ways and Means, first black woman representing Ways and Means in the city of Boston. We had several conversations, and Mike wasn't going to let me have it, was he, Mike? Where's Mike? Where's Mike? He wasn't going to. I respond to every single email because I know how much it takes with all of the work, with all of the hard work. I love you, brother, and I look forward to continuing to work with you. Thank you, everyone here. And if I didn't mention you, you matter. Thank you.
Representative Senator-elect Liz Miranda, please. Thank you.
Good afternoon. It feels good to say Senator-elect. I'm going to be very short because I want to co-sign what all my elected brothers and sisters said. I'm a product of a BCYF center, Orchard Park Housing Development. They save lives. I was a latchkey kid. My mom worked 16 hours a day. And it was at that BCYF center that I learned about hope and love and that I mattered. They helped me with my homework. I got good sex education. I got everything I needed, but health equity, education that schools did not provide. I learned about my culture, my history, my community in that center. And we know that community centers are beacons of light and beacons of hope. And for everyone in this community, whether they're age 4 or 84, they will have a home and a safe place where they know that they matter and we can build community. I just say today's a really great day. Before I even knew this was going to be the thing, I presented Michael Kozu with $100,000. It's still coming out of the state budget to create a community design process out of our state money. We have a lot more to give. But the $100,000 I hope will help the city of Boston and Project Right and the community agencies that Sister Virginia mentioned to ensure that we have a youth-centered, community-centered approach to community design. So this will be the best goddamn community center in the whole city of Boston. So thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you. And Representative Malia?
As one of the senior people here, I just wanted to be here. My elective office time ends this December, but I've been in office for more than 20 years, and what I have witnessed is the work that a community like Grove Hall has done to take care of itself without enough resources at any point is really testament to the fact that there's hope that this community center is going to be built and we won't have anywhere near the shortage of help that we've had so far. So good luck, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Mike Kozu, for always keeping the candle lit.
And then last but not least, we're going to have Justice Porter, who is a student at Burke. She's a junior. She's going to speak on behalf of the youth. And we're going to ask the Burke students are going to stand behind her as she speaks. But as we do that, I want us to remember this is a community center, that it is but for the youth, for the families, and for our seniors as well. Thank you. Let's not forget that our seniors are part of the community center as well.
All right. Hello, everyone. It's nice to see like a bunch of people from my community in one space. But today I would like to speak about the community center and how impactful and beneficial it would be for me and all these students from the Burke and just the entire community, even if they aren't teenagers or kids and they're adults, because even adults need guidance, okay? They need help. All of us do. And I know we've all heard the saying that to raise a child, it takes a village. To raise anybody, even if you're an adult, a teenager, a young 2-year-old, you need a village, you need help, you need resources. And especially as a teenager, we need help with everything that's going on in our community. Growing up, learning how to become an adult, dealing with different circumstances that may be so hard to deal with, trauma, we suppress those things. A lot of times our resources are available to us with a deadline, and a lot of students do not want to come on Tuesday, October 24th at 3 p.m. to randomly discuss their trauma. We want it to be open, we want it to be safe, and we want to see other students being comfortable to go there. That will make us feel even more safer to go there and express our emotions, just feel so connected. And when we talk to our community members, when we say, hey, I need help with this, hey, can I know this person, like, can I reach out to somebody? And people are there, that makes us feel even more better and supported. We just need that. And especially at the Burke, I know so many students that need either academic help, emotional, mental, etc., that they don't know who to reach out to, how to deal with it, and they just close it up, they bottle up, they don't speak about it. And that cannot happen at all. It affects us as adults, as we're growing up. It is horrible. And this community center would help us not only grow up from be that babies to adults, but it would help us for the rest of our lives. And even if we don't grow up here, and we can impact other people all around the world. So that is exactly why I think, as an author and advocate for this community, that we need this community center, and we need to be even more connected to our community and our city together as a whole. My name is Justice Porter.
Thank you all for coming out today. And as she said, this community center is about connection. It's about being the hub of the neighborhood and creating space for everyone. So we look forward to not seeing you just at the groundbreaking, but we hope that you stay involved in the design process. Thank you.
If any media have questions just on the community center, I'll take them. For anyone up here, we can take a few now, and then any off-topic questions I'll take off to the side. Thank you again, everyone, and Sister Virginia especially. I'm going to get her remarks as instructions to post on my wall. Again.
Yeah, Burke students, we love y'all.
Okay, you know, why don't we do questions off the side? Yeah, great.